Hey, this is Rick Brandenburg for Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll, and it's the very end of October, the 1st of November, and we see a lot of things that give us an indication of what kind of fall it is. We've got flowers still up and rolling, including really tropical plants like cannas and lantanas, and that's not unusual as long as you haven't had a killing frost. But we also see some other things here at the end of October, early November that are a little more unusual, like azaleas getting buds all over them and starting to flower. Azaleas blooming should be reserved for 1 week, the first week of April when we have the Masters. We're also in the gardenias starting to see blooms form, and that's not really incredibly uncommon. It's not a rare event to sometimes see these spring blooming plants get buds in the fall. And here we are with these camellias, and this is a little bit different because these camellias have bloomed a month early. And so when you look around and you see biological events that aren't the norm, things showing up early, things bloom in the fall instead of the springs, things showing up a month early, that tells you that there's something going on biologically. And the question is, could it impact pest issues, weeds, diseases, nematodes next year if going into the fall we've got some really weird timings of things? So the question I get this fall is, what does this mean? Does it mean we're going to have more insects, less insects, earlier, later, diseases, weeds, all these sorts of things? Well, the answer is, I really don't have a clue. So here's what I know it does mean though. It means that year in, year out, we see differences going into the winter, the fall, the summer, all these sorts of things. And then of course in the spring, if we have an early spring, a late spring, everybody wonders what it's going to mean. And here's what it really means to me. It means every year you need to go out and check. You need to use whatever scouting techniques, whatever monitoring techniques that you have, whether it's using degree days, whether it's using records, whether it's just going out and getting on your hands and knees and looking to see exactly what's taking place, because it's virtually impossible to predict very far ahead of time what things are going to do the next year, or even once you get into that year. You can never make up through whatever type of electronic equipment you have, make up for being out in the field, looking, getting on your hands and knees, checking, and seeing what the status of the pest problems are. Next week I'm going to have a video where I actually show a situation where every year we've seen the pest timing change for reasons that we really can't understand. And as a result, sometimes we've got really poor insect control, and it's had a significant impact. So the only answer, since this thing seems to vary from one year to the next, is to go out and look, to scout, to monitor, and really make sure we can get our timings more accurate. So I'll show you that video next week and the challenges that we've had, but the take-home message is, next spring, get out and look. That's the best way to get the most bang out of your pest control dollars that you spend. Hope that helps. Look forward to seeing you again soon.